Hello and welcome to the Rugby Chat episode 51. Rugby World Cup every 2 years. That's the title for this week. And yes, we have a whole bunch of topics to talk about. One of those will be that Rugby World Cup one. So stick around for that. A few other things. Obviously, we'll be talking about injuries and the Rugby Championship. And I had all sorts of notes. So let me just have a quick look at those and what else we're going to talk about. Oh my word, he's going to put all sorts of stuff in here. We'll talk a bit about Mitre 10 Cup as well, because, hey, I've been going to a lot of Mitre 10 Cup games, including Manawatu. Yeah, you never know. We might be able to get to the end of the show. I might have time to do the whole idea. Is the whole idea of rugby to cheat? Which is a question we've had there for about a month now, or two. So anyway, joining me.
It should just stay there for the rest, like for years, you know. We should always aspire to talk about it, but never actually do talk about it.
And yes,
like
for those of you that
eternal cliffhanger.
Here I am trying to introduce you, but no, just jump in anyway. Joining me, if you haven't guessed already, is Herman. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Paul. Doing fine. Still raining in Chiang Mai. It was sunshine for 1 hour this morning, but now it's back on.
And for those of you who are watching on the video rather than listening to the podcast, you probably can't see Herman, but that's probably just as well. At least you can hear him. Technical issues, and hopefully he'll...
Come on, I'm the most good-looking guy.
Exactly. We're missing the most good-looking guy, so I'm sorry for all the ladyboys out there. And then...
Whoa.
Thank you for joining us.
Whoa.
How you doing, Ashwin?
I'm doing good. There ain't no sunshine when it's gone.
Yeah, it's not been a bad day today. And it's looking like it's going to be dry. So, hey, who cares about wets during the week as long as your rugby games are dry? That's definitely it. So...
Oh, sorry, just one question. But springtime is slowly starting to come to New Zealand now, eh?
Yep.
Very slowly. Up.
Yeah, but the worst is over for this year, isn't it?
Well, you haven't been looking at the news, because we had 2 tornadoes go through New Plymouth last night, and we've got 17 today as well. So, yes, the worst is not over by any stretch.
Okay.
He's south of the Bombays, that's why. If he lived in Auckland, wouldn't have a problem. He'd be running around in his bikini by now.
all those farmers, eh?
Yep. And for those of you who've seen Peak New Zealand, there was a great little tweet showing someone walking their little lamb with a little coat on it through the streets on a lead, saying, "Yeah, look, New Zealand's civilized." So no more sheep jokes. But yeah, now we are coming into spring, which just means lots more rain, really, and it's not quite as cold. So. Good to see. Yes, Alex agrees with me here. It's still winter here in New Plymouth in the live chat there. So yes, I totally agree. Rugby, there has been some apparently. So maybe we should talk about it. Is losing Folau a blessing in disguise for the Wallabies?
You go ahead.
I actually think, from my point of view, the fact that he's still there, but it gives them an opportunity to bring in somebody else. And if they can find somebody to play at fullback, then I think there's better positions for Folau to play. Whether it's the wing or whether it's in the midfield, gives them some options to be able to try somebody at fullback to then, as they free up Izzy to look at either whether it's wing or centre. And then they can also basically shift him around depending on who the opposition is and where the best position for him is depending on the opposition.
But Jack says, no, it's not because they have no depth at fullback. Well, got to disagree there, actually. Dame Helmet-Petty's available. Bridge has been decent. Maddox can also play fullback as well. I think they got a few options there. But I mean, Dame Helmet-Petty's been put on the wing. Has always been someone they could put at fullback to put Folau on the wing, but it's something that Checker really has never been a fan of doing.
No. And is it a blessing in disguise? Short term, absolutely not. If you're going to beat the All Blacks on Eden Park, you better need all hands on deck. And losing your probably best offensive player, it's not going to help. Long term, of course, because this is for Wallabies, they have a few positions where they really have no depth at all. 9, 10, it's also tricky position for them. And World Cup is around the corner almost, and we haven't really started growing any depth there. So it seems like Czechia is maybe waiting for Foley and Genia to injure themselves before they try any new options there.
Yeah, and the problem is, but you look around and go, okay, who is behind Foley? And there isn't anybody really. If you look at the Super Rugby games, and the same again for at 9. Who's behind Genia? And again, you look around at the different Super Rugby franchises in Australia, and there's just no one there at the moment.
Nick Phipps,
come on, Phipps.
Okay, you've walked
done it, straight into the All Blacks team.
By making those sort of comments, you've driven me to beer. I'm going to get a beer while you continue.
We'll carry on.
But I think we both.
At the end of the day, the whole sort of Israel Folau injury and the opportunity for them to try something else, it's all in God's plan.
Well, of course. Why didn't I think about that? Why didn't I think about it before? No, but I think you're with me on what I said before. Israel Folau is the last couple of years, not like that's the closest thing we have to something close to Brian Habana, someone you're like actually scared of when you're getting the ball against the All Blacks, because usually you're not that scared. But he's not on Brian Habana level, because that was really scary sometimes when he get the ball, because you just know, oh shit, now we're going to score again.
Language.
Yeah.
Couple of comments from the chat there.
Is that I think
Hugh's going to say Dame Hamlet would be my pick. Hodge could be another option. He could be, but at the moment he's having to fill in at 13 because there's no one else there. Losing Folau's a big blow. Is still the best option at 15 in his opinion. So yeah,
by some distance also. I mean,
as I said in the odd chat, it's a blow, but I think in the greater scheme of things, it's a good time for it to happen.
Well, I could think it would be better if it happened next week after the Eden Park game.
Look, I mean, I'm always loath to say, the fact that sort of the Wallabies aren't going to win at Eden Park, but the chances of them winning at Eden Park are pretty slim.
But it's not going to happen. Anyway, sorry guys, just a quick
Ed break.
Try for the All Blacks.
See, because that's what happens. Try for the All
Blacks.
Yeah.
It's Brody.
But anyway, Ashwin, do you want to talk about money?
Let's talk about the money.
Your expensive house, but you had some other money issues you wanted to talk about.
He could afford to live in my house in Hamilton.
He could. That's very true. So
because according to Stuff article, which is from a Wales Online article, Israel Folau was the highest paid player in rugby union, which was quite a surprise to me.
But not anymore. Hooper has.
Yeah, well, no, Folau. I mean, these are obviously New Zealand dollars rather than US or Aussie dollars. But he's at 2.2 million, and I believe Hooper's at
1.2.
Yeah, we're at 1.2.
Is Israel Folau at 2.2 million Australian dollars a year?
New Zealand dollars.
New Zealand dollars.
Sort of equates to probably about 1.8, 1.9 Aussie.
And in euros?
What are euros?
Enough to buy yourself a car and a house and to live nicely.
Well, I mean,
but it's interesting. You've got Folau and Hooper are paid more than the highest All Black, current All Black.
Yep.
Well,
I think that's going to change eventually.
You think it's going to change?
Yeah. They don't have money enough.
Some other players that are there in that list. Dan Carter at number 2, obviously been out of international rugby since 2015. Really is in his swan song at Kobe Steel. Matt Giteau at number 3, the third highest paid player in the world. Don't get me wrong, Gitz was a fantastic player, but is the operative word here. He's getting on a bit now. Those guys seriously are just padding their pension out, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Dan Carter one, I'm guessing that's an annualized figure. which means that he won't actually get that full amount anyway because the Japanese season's short, or is that actually for the short season? Which means that as an annualized figure, then it's actually massive.
I think it's probably also, it's probably still got some of his Racing 92 money in there as well. Because he hasn't actually, he's only just finished, hasn't he? At the end of last season.
Yeah. He hasn't actually started playing for Kobe, has he?
Not yet, no. No, the season's kicks off in 2 weeks, a week or two, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I heard something like that, yep.
So two out of the top three highest players are in Japan. The highest one is in Australia. Charles Pierce-Howe comes in at 4, which is probably the youngest of this crowd, to be honest. Followed by Aaron Cruden in France. He's a top paid player in France, which amazes me because I don't think he's that good. Luatua at Bristol. Boy, has he managed to get himself a nice pay packet.
But hey, look, no, but he wasn't even close to making it in the All Blacks.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who's getting paid more than Kieran Reid or Sam Kane or any of these guys, and he couldn't even get past them into the team.
Well, yeah, but he was good.
Dan Biggar.
Herman's saying something. His lips are moving, but I can't hear what he's saying.
That's good. That means I can just continue talking if we can't hear him. Then Dan Biggar there. Mardonu, another guy who, let's be honest, past his prime, but still a very good player. Nicolas Sanchez, off to Stade Francais. Then we say Michael Hogan.
Yeah. I think when you look at your Nonu, your Carter, your Giteau, you're looking at teams that are buying players for marketing purposes, maybe experience, help with the coaching side of things.
No, I agree. Your thoughts, Simon?
You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. You should get that laptop looked at.
It worked just
Herman, just take the headphones off and just go through the microphone on the laptop.
No, we dropped them now.
He'll be back. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, as you say, if you look at some of those names in there, Carter's, Giteau, Nonu, are all players that have been brought, as you say, are bought as much to put bums on seats and for a big name advertising as they are necessarily for their performances. They are still good players, don't get us wrong, but to suggest that they're the top 10 players in the world nowadays is just wrong.
So which Super Rugby side is Nonu going to play for next year? So that could be another show.
What? He's not going back to New Zealand, is he?
Yes, he is.
What I heard. Yep, he's going back to New Zealand.
So which Mitre 10 Cup team is he going to play for?
Well, that was also some discussion around that, whether he'd be playing for Wellington or not, but I don't see him suiting up or mentioned.
Interesting one. So on that kind of note, just to let people know, because hey, I fancy showing off. I picked up my press pass for Taranaki, so I'll be at the Shield game between Taranaki and Manawatu this Friday. And I've also got my press pass for which I pick up at the game for Waikato versus North Shore. So, if there's any players you think you'd like me to, or any questions and stuff you'd like me to talk about, then do feel free to drop me a line on Twitter with some questions. Jack reckons Nonu at the Chiefs. That'd be an interesting one.
Yes, so that's actually that does ring a bell. That's what they were mentioning. I believe Nonu's about 34, 35 for Hugh.
So he's coming back just in time for the what do you call it? For the Rugby World Cup.
Golden Oldies. Yeah, well, as I said, there was some talk about whether he'd be in the
No, I've not seen many squads either. It'll be interesting to see whether Thomas Waldron gets picked up by a Super Rugby franchise. The No, and you think of the teams we've got, such as I'm just trying to think about it now. You think that Kano leaving leaving the Blues, sorry, Messam leaving the Chiefs, Shields leaving the Hurricanes, and Sanu leaving the and. So no sound for Archer. I can hear you fine. This is just. Sorry, people on the broadcast. Can you hear me? I said on. Yeah, no, that's okay. We're going to good. No, I can't. You guys aren't coming through to my aren't coming through to the you're not coming through to the. I can see that you're not. Some reason Skype's not coming through to Ecam again. Fuck's sake. Yeah, don't worry. You're not being broadcast at the moment. I can the some reason Ecam's not picking up the Skype feed. I don't get why. Again, it's not your fault. It's mine. No, Herman's right. It's my fault. My end. What we're going to do? Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do. I'm just going to kill Ecam and start it again. Right, we're back, and we're back, and you should be able to hear us again. So hopefully that's all good, and we'll do some changes to the old setup between now and tomorrow. Sorry about that, folks. So yeah, we should be back again. So where did we drop off? You know what? I think we'll move.
We were talking about Mr. Nonu coming back into Super Rugby, but rumours around that. So we'll just wait and see what happens there. But I suppose just to finish off on the pay scales thing. So Michael Hooper is at 1.1 million, and the top All Blacks, which there's three of them at Kieran Reid, Bowden Barrett, and SPW, are all on 1 million. So basically, Mr. Hooper is earning about $100,000 more than the top All Blacks.
And we hear how Australian rugby is short of cash. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword though, isn't it? It's the fact is that they can't afford to lose their star players or their real top quality players, but then they've got no money.
Well, okay. There's also a part of it. So one of the things that they did in Australia, and I don't know the full details around it, but there was an agreement between the players union and the Australian Rugby Union, and there is an agreement that X percent of the revenue that the RU generates has to go to player salaries, which is one of the issues they've got, is that then they can't decide how much to put to grassroots or development, because a certain percentage has to go straight to the players.
But doesn't the All Blacks have the same? I'm pretty sure with New Zealand Rugby that they also have a pool of money that's all that can go up and down. So I don't think it's anything different.
Maybe
so basically my understanding is, exactly. It's on the Player Association. The agreement is out of the revenue, X amount goes to this bracket, X amount goes to this bracket, and X amount goes to the bottom bracket type scenario. So, I believe it's tiered payments, which are an agreement, and the pool available to that bracket.
But I have a quick fix for New Zealand Rugby Union to fix this. Just do like the Aussies, you drop a Super Rugby team, so drop the Blues, take the money from there and put in other teams. It's all fixed. Quick.
I don't think your microphone's working.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
It's fine because we would have a mining magnate with lots and lots of money who would step in and pay for the whole team to go and set our own competition.
He would invite you to the new league for sure, right away.
That is an option, actually. Yeah, drop a team into the new World Series Rugby, or whatever he's calling it.
Sorry for bringing up this from the side here, but did you see the first release that their plan is to have a New Zealand team in the World Series of Rugby? You see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
No, haven't seen that.
Both a team in New Zealand and one in Western Sydney. Very exciting. We'll see if we can pull it off. But the interesting thing, this is out there, but New Zealand Rugby hasn't gone out and officially denied it. Which I guess they would have done. It would have been like nothing. Don't you reckon?
But no, but the New Zealand Rugby Union also has a tendency to bury their head in the sand as well until it becomes bigger than Ben Hur. So they have done that in the past as well.
Well, but I think it's a no-brainer that Twiggy Forrest have met New Zealand Rugby sometime during this last year. Don't you reckon? They have met each other for sure.
I would have thought
obviously
so.
with
But I think also New Zealand Rugby will have agreed, or will have run it past Australian Rugby first.
Yep.
Depends how much they like Australian Rugby.
Well, there's an element of that, but they would be really shooting themselves in the foot if they decided to, or potentially go with the Jerry Packer side thing rather than with the Rugby Union, and go against World Rugby, which would be an interesting one.
Yeah, well, that's another. Didn't you see that? Here. Sorry, Ashwin. I got some good news for you here, boys. Guess who Twiggy Forrest hired as his director for his South American mining company?
Augustin Pichot.
Oh yes. So I think Twiggy is working his way into World Rugby too. You know, he's a self-made billionaire. For sure, he has meeting with Steve Chu, have meeting with everyone already, for sure. But we just don't know about it. It wouldn't make no sense.
What I was going to say is that, I mean, at the end of the day, there's been conversations at some level with New Zealand Rugby because the Crusaders went and played a game there in the break.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's something going on. My thinking is just, if it had been like totally false, New Zealand Rugby would have come out with a statement, no, we're not doing this. But it's just, when it's dead silence, that usually means we're talking.
I think, good point there, actually. Yeah. I sort of think with the Crusaders, there's like, they've got a finger in the pie with the Major League Rugby, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking to try and get a finger in the pie in Twiggy's competition as well. I think they're quite astute in the fact that they see about spreading their brand and possibility of creating income streams through other avenues, and that could be one way of doing it.
And I'm sure New Zealand Rugby are part of that as well. The last thing New Zealand Rugby needs is for an American Rugby Union league that is richer than France and Japan, and is poaching even more players. And then another extremely rich league being run by a billionaire that they're not part of, that's got all the Southeast Asian money coming in and losing players to that as well. Whilst they can't be openly going out and supporting them against other competitions that they're actively in at the moment, they are ones that they're going to want to have a foothold in, so that they can have some control of some of their players in some way in those leagues.
For sure. I mean, I think they're just hedging their bets because as to this day, we don't know what's going to happen with Super Rugby, and you would be a fool if you were Steve Chu and just said Twiggy to walk out of it, like leave. Of course, you would listen to what he has to say.
Yeah,
you listen and wouldn't commit to anything. I mean, Bas Penny says, who watches World Series Rugby? It's not a matter of who watches it now, it's about who watches it in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
At the
and
he's in a situation where he can, if he wants to, and it comes down to if he wants to, he can lose 100 million on this over the first 3 years and then make 500 million over the following 3 years and be very, very happy about it. He doesn't have to.
He could lose $100 million over the next 3 years, and that's what falls out of his pocket when he's walking down the road.
No. You don't become a billionaire by being happy to throw money around and just keep. I'm
not saying that you're not happy about losing it, but the fact is that a lot of sports owners around the world do it for the ego trip, not because they're making money out of it. You can count professional teams that make money. You can count on one hand type scenario, isn't it? And Herman would probably be in the best position to comment on that.
True. I mean, pretty much all sports teams in USA make massive amount of money. That makes massive amount of money, but there are a lot of beneficiaries who work like. But I also think coming back to that, with New Zealand rugby, when Twiggy comes and knocks on the door, you listen, but you do ask one question also: how much? How much? How much?
Show me the money.
How much?
Show me the money.
Because that's what it's all going to come down to in the end. That's pro sports.
No, absolutely. And I mean, he said he was willing to drop 50 million to keep the force in Super Rugby, and that wasn't enough to persuade Australian Rugby to go fight in Sanzar. So clearly that wasn't a big enough figure. But it's different if you're not trying to fight other people, I'm sure.
And look, at the end of the day, if New Zealand Rugby can get some more money from another source and another competition, they might be able to afford jerseys that don't clash.
Yeah, that's true.
Like with Tasman and Canterbury.
I think you're a bit hard on New Zealand Rugby. I don't think they buy the jerseys for the
really
for the regions out there. Well, I think the regions buy their.
Okay, if you
no, they're not central.
Have you seen? If those of you who are at go back and look at my Twitter feed and have a look at some of my video and photos from Manawatu versus Waikato. Now, I enjoyed it a lot. I had a great time down there for the game, and I do appreciate them giving me a season-long press pass. And I will be trying to get down there for another game or two, even if it's going to be a sort of a 7-hour round trip driving. But the number of people who actually turn up for those games is minimal. There is no way the provinces break anywhere near even without handouts from the New Zealand Rugby Union. And yeah, they
in their own books
over their jerseys and stuff.
Plus, most in the provinces, in their own books, most of them are on plus. Okay, but lots of money come from New Zealand Rugby Union, but they make their own books, all 14 regions, and most of them are on plus.
Yeah, so they all get a handout from the central organisation, and then they got to balance their books thereafter.
They also get help from the Super Rugby franchises, which I'm hoping to get a bit of more insight into this weekend. But I was chatting to the performance analysis for Taranaki a couple of games ago, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, this piece of kit we just got this piece of kit handed down from us, sent to us from the Chiefs." While I'm whilst I'm away with the New Zealand schools team, they're going to send a performance analysis guy down to help cover me. So there is actually some sort of tie logistically between the Super Rugby teams and the franchises around this kind of stuff. They don't have to buy all the kit themselves as well.
So, but look, at the end of the day, who cares who funds it? But how hard is it to have a bloody alternate strip that's actually quite different, so that you don't have jersey clashes? We used to do it when we were amateur. Why the hell can't we do it now that we're professional?
Twin, you're absolutely right, but Paul and I spent like 10 minutes. Or was that after the show?
So yeah, last night, Herb and I spent 10 minutes talking about this, and looking at Tasman versus Canterbury, even the referee in his orange strip looked similar to the players, and it just looked like you couldn't tell who was on each side. It was impossible to watch.
And let's face it, the referee could be wearing pink.
Yep.
Excuse me.
It is.
Gesundheit. Thank you.
It's an absolute joke, because I think you can. Is these two a good answer? Yes or no? Similar to each other.
I remember that a few years ago that this was quite a few years ago. One of the alternate jerseys that Auckland once played in was actually gold, like it was sort of actually a golden colour, not yellow, but quite a gold colour, to the blue and white hoops. But hey, at the end of the day, as long as it's different to the opposition, it's great.
Absolutely, and one of the things that Herb and I were talking about also was the Super Rugby final, where I pointed this out all the way through that the Lions home and the Lions away jersey were abysmal. They were just way too similar. They weren't alternate. And I've gone and done it again. I've lost Herman. Bugger.
That's right. We'll have new software tomorrow night. Actually, what people don't realise is that Herman's just playing a gag on Paul, and he's just going.
Oh my God! Am I back?
You're back, but you're gone. Just a deep breath. What's that? So, I suppose we'll move on to our next topic. So we, as Paul tries to get Herman back, we'll move on to our next topic for.
I heard him humming there, so I'm happy he's back.
Yeah, I'm singing.
Good.
So.
He's singing. Well, now that we've got Herman back, we'll move on to that next topic. Should the World Cup, which we sort of alluded to this earlier in the show, should the World Cup be every 2 years? Oh, blanket no.
Well, I mean, news. I probably.
I'm not touching anything, and you're cutting in and out. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I'm going to cry.
Don't you cry.
For you, Argentina.
Well, from my point of view, I mean, like basically having the World Cup 2 years, it's it'll come around too quickly. There's so much rugby that happens in between as well. We've got a lot of other sorts of tournaments that come along now these days as well. There's the I suppose not that it's 15s, but we've got the Sevens World Cup that comes around as well that fills spot with the and with the Sevens you've got the World Cup, and every 2 years on that they've got the Olympics. So
that's Sevens.
Yeah, that's Sevens exactly, but I still don't think that we want to lose the allure of the World Cup by having it too often.
I hear what you say.
You hear what I'm saying, but we don't hear what you're saying. Mime it. Hand signals. Let's see what we've got. We'll see what we've got saying.
Okay, let me. So Herman and I again talked about this for about 20 minutes after the show last night, and his point basically is that do we want international rugby to stay the pinnacle of the sport? And if we do, then it's going to come down to money. And if we're going to generate money, the way the international game generates money is through the Rugby World Cup, and therefore we need it every 2 years. And that way we maintain international rugby as being the top level of it, and it's controlled by international, not by club rugby.
Right. how are we going to get that control away from the clubs and get it to the international rugby?
Because it's all about cash, and the way you get cash into the game is through the Rugby World Cup.
So if you think that the international rugby ends up with enough money, they can actually take some of that control back from the private teams.
Absolutely, and then they maintain that. And they maintain that control. Well, they have a certain element of control, but it's slipping through their grasp currently.
Absolutely.
So this would be the way of getting hold of what control they still have, and taking more as well.
Yeah. Obviously, the fear factor there is the fact that it just takes some of that gloss away from a World Cup event if it's happening too frequently. Obviously, Bas is saying, and mentioning the Lions tour. So you're sort of looking at how do you fit the Lions in around if you've got World Cup happening every 2 years. I suppose you've still got a year left in between that. There's nothing happening, so you could fit them in there, but. Yeah, there's a few things, I suppose, that we have happening in rugby that we might go by the wayside or get less emphasis on. And a Lions tour could be one of those.
Herman, you back?
No.
Fuck. Yep, sorry for the language.
Yeah, I got that part, though. He said, poor language.
Really? No, I didn't.
I took tips from Hugh on how to lip read. Yeah, actually, Hugh raising a good point in the old chat room. Would there be enough money coming in for Tier 2 nations to be able to go to a World Cup every 2 years? How is the qualifying going to actually fit into that 2-year period as well?
So you'd have to rush to qualifying in 1 year. Let's be honest, and if you've got $5 million per Rugby World Cup to spend on those Tier 2 teams, you now get to spend it in 2 years rather than in 4. And you get to spend it so you get more money to give to them, in theory. Yes, the Lions would have to die. Okay, the Lions would have to stop happening. Which
no. No, me too, no!
No, but it doesn't.
We'd have to fit it in the year off year in between. I mean, and you got to remember, the Lions would still be every 4 years, so it's only once. So you're still going to go through 2, maybe 3 World Cups, and in that time you're going to have one Lions tour.
So you're going to basically rip away the opportunity for the Northern Hemisphere teams to develop their teams in the off year between two Rugby World Cups. I mean, you might as well just say that those 4 teams can't win it. Can only really enter the Rugby World Cup every 4 years.
Okay. Anything that increases the odds of the All Blacks winning is good.
Because the odds are so bad currently. I'm sorry. I'm finding it hard to keep going with being so upset around my technology that we've had this week and last week. I think it was as well. It seems to work when I've got 2 people, but as soon as I get 3, it seems to fall apart a bit. And I'm finding it tough to finish the show, to be honest. I knew the general feeling would be no, but I do understand where Herman's coming from around it. So it would be sad if we lost the Lions tours. I get it, but it comes down to how it is. Is it all about the Rugby World Cup? Because it's starting to go that way. And I mean, Herman made a fantastic point last night that what was the point of the Springboks and Wales playing in Washington DC with only about 4 first choice players between them? That wasn't a test match. That was a farce.
I don't think anybody's worked out what that was about, to tell you the truth. Look, at the end of the day, there's only one team globally currently that can sell out a stadium where there's no home team, and that's the All Blacks. And we've seen that. So, when other teams start to get the idea is like, oh, we'll take a game out and play it in the US. It's really just not going to work. That the fan base outside of their countries is not there. The home nations might be able to achieve it. You get a England versus Ireland game happening in the US, and you might be able to get good numbers through there. But it's a tough call, and I don't think it'll happen. So I suppose, on one hand, it is worth looking at every 2 years if it can bring in that income.
There's a triple header. So
we've
got the USA women are playing, I think it's New Zealand women. They're following that game with a game between USA Eagles, or basically USA and New Zealand Maori.
And the Maoris.
And the third game is Ireland versus Italy.
Right, yes. Ireland versus Italy.
Pretty sure it's Ireland, Italy, yes.
No, well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I mean, what pedigree does Italy have to be able to sell out a stadium?
Let me, Chicago triple header is...
Oh.
Yeah, the Black Ferns, Maori All Blacks, USA Eagles, and then, yes, Italy, Ireland is the third game.
Okay. Right, well, they'll be banking on trying to sell the Maori All Blacks as the All Blacks to fill the stadium out.
It's going to be interesting how the women's, how many people turn up for the first game, which is the women's one as well. I mean, we're seeing a lot more of this. Obviously, we had with the Bledisloe Cup last weekend. We're going to have it again this weekend with the Bledisloe Cup. We'll have the Black Ferns versus the Wallaroos, and it's becoming much more of they're definitely growing these things.
I don't disagree about the having to grow the women's sport aspect of it, but you've got to grow it in a market where there's actually interest first, and then take it to the new markets. If you look at the attendance that they had last weekend, to be honest with you, it wasn't great. And unfortunately, the game wasn't great either. If you have a look at, you want to have high intensity to create a great game. We watched the Women's World Cup final between England and New Zealand, and it was a good game. It was a very good game. There was intensity, there was excitement, it was a fast-paced game. Compare that to what we watched last week, and it was just like, my son watching it goes, Dad, can we change the channel? Because Taranaki was playing Bay of Plenty, and it was a far more exciting game on the other channel. And I was just like, no, mate, give it a chance. And in the end, I had to say, okay, we're changing the channel.
And
so if they're going to take, what's that, sorry?
And Taranaki were poor.
Yeah, they were a bit, actually. They started off guns a-blazing, and then all of a sudden sort of fell away. It looked like they were going to romp it in the first few minutes I think they scored a try early.
But that happened a few times in this game. So, I mean, this weekend, obviously the Wallabies went out well against the All Blacks. The Waikato went up 12-0 against Manawatu and then lost.
Yes.
So there's been a few of those games this weekend where teams have shot out. Actually, I mean, again, the Springboks were behind at a half time against Pumas as well.
And even though Wellington was never behind and they actually did win it quite comfortably, they were actually like going along like a well-tuned Rolls Royce there at point a minute stuff up to sort of about 18-20 minutes and breaking Otago at will. And then all of a sudden Otago's defence staunched up a bit. So there was, yeah,
there's been a few sides that have turned it round and come back. So don't switch off any games this weekend after the first 20 minutes because the next 60 might be totally different. There's your pro tip from DrivingMaul.
Yeah.
Oh dear. we've done nearly an hour. I think we're going to wrap it up there, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we'll be back tomorrow. Are you back tomorrow night? Or you?
I should be. I should be fine. Should be fine tomorrow.
Yep. So All Blacks edition tomorrow night. I'll be rebuilding my computer straight after this show to try and fix all sorts of issues because I'll be honest, there's no way I'm putting this out as a podcast tonight. It's only going to be available on YouTube from now on, and I won't be doing I won't be putting up a blog post either. Technical issues have been a disaster. I'm very sorry, folks, and very sorry, Herman, as well for losing you. So yes, we'll be back again tomorrow night with the All Blacks edition, and we may have a totally different set of technology, but we will be here on YouTube definitely, Facebook and Periscope are maybes. We'll have to see how that goes. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and sorry about all the issues we've had tonight.